What's up, guys? It's Mike.
It's Dan.
And this situation is horrible.
Yeah, we got a really crazy story. It's not funny at all. It's shocking, and it's also very it's a very dangerous thing that happens all the time in China, and it doesn't get talked about enough because, of course, you don't see this kind of stuff.
No.
And it's a huge problem. And we're talking about attempted abduction, violence on women, and basically this
sex trade. A lot of this it's kind of insane. There's this phenomenon in China where bystanders, a lot of times, don't do anything when they see something happening.
Awful.
This is a fairly common situation in China. It came about when, I think a long time ago, there was a lawsuit. There was I think an elderly person who fell, and then a young man went to help pick her or him up.
Right.
And then the young man got sued.
In China.
And he lost the lawsuit because the judge said, well, if you didn't push him or her, then why did you help? So that became an infamous lawsuit.
Yeah.
Where now so many people, like, they see something happening, they don't get involved. They're like, none of my business. I don't want to be involved.
And I think the worst thing I've ever seen, and we've seen this, is when the little girl got ran over by the car several times. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Caught on video. It's disturbing as heck. And there's these people like, is that? And I think you're right. And I think it's also, it's ingrained somehow in modern Chinese people's nature to not get involved. It's almost, and your parents, right? They'll be like, don't get involved, don't get involved.
别管闲事 is like a common saying, like, don't get involved in stuff.
And that's literally the exact opposite of, like, if you're in America, like, people almost, they get involved too much.
See something, say something. That's all we hear.
Right.
You know? Dude, be a good Samaritan.
I mean, it's almost, and it's also like...
yeah, we have the Good Samaritan law that protects that.
You have a Good Samaritan law, and not only that, but when you're growing up, it's almost manly, right? If you see a woman being yelled at...
It's the right thing to do.
And you don't know the girl, like if you saw a girl on the bus getting yelled at or obviously attacked, I mean, you'd step in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see this every day. And this right here is just crazy. Because...
This is at a kind of a shady hotel. It's a cheap hotel in Beijing. And what you see here, the surveillance is insane. And what you're seeing here is someone filming the surveillance video, whilst the victim, the woman, is explaining what's happening on the video
to the hotel people, or to the police or whatever, right? Investigators, whatever. So she's basically saying, and you guys take a look at the video. So she goes to her door.
Yeah.
The assailant comes at first. He doesn't like run up to her. He kind of goes next to her, probably says something, tries to get her,
tries to drag her away,
and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And you see immediately the hotel guy comes over, the worker, and is just standing there.
And also she says in the background, she says he just came by and says, please don't do this at this hotel. Like he said it very calmly and kindly, like very warmly, instead of being like, what are you doing? Let go of her. He was just like, please don't do this at this hotel.
Yeah, take your business elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, you're worried about your hotel and not about the livelihood of this woman?
So then you see her being dragged on the floor where she's just on the floor and the hotel guy is standing there. At least he didn't walk away. He's standing there and the guy's on his phone and they're asking what he was saying, and then she was saying he was calling for reinforcements.
Insane.
To come and get her. So in her mind, she was explaining that she was going to be taken away to some sex trade and never be heard from again.
That was like her worst fear.
It's a common phenomenon in China.
Happens all the time.
So then, in front of this guy, he drags her by the hair or something to the elevator.
Yeah. And in between, guys, you see that there's bystanders that literally come by and they're just like, they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
None of our business, walk by.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, at the end, she wasn't taken away. She was able to get away. And there was a woman that tried to help her.
It was mainly because of the woman. It wasn't even, she said it was mainly not even because of the guy, it was mainly because of the woman who pulled her, who was trying to pull her out of the elevator.
And that is really rare. That's really rare. And now here's the other part of the story that really gets to me. So netizens saw this, and of course they're defending her, they're criticizing heavily.
Yeah.
Now this is where the story gets even crazier, right? So you got this guy on tape, right? She got away. She's able to describe to the authorities what he looked like. You're talking about in America, you got the sketch, you got posters plastered everywhere. It's on the 9 o'clock news. People are like, if you see this guy, he's about to be arrested. I mean, you got all the proof you want. What happens what happens with the Chinese hotel, and what happens with the Chinese law enforcement?
Well, the hotel tries to buy her off, basically.
Are you kidding?
Was like, hey, keep quiet about this. Here's some money.
Insane.
And the police were just like trying to play it off as, hey, oh, it's no big deal.
No big deal, and they're taking their sweet time. She said that one of the people, they were like, oh, we're not gonna tackle this story, or we won't be back until in 2 days or whatever. This girl could have been killed. And these guys are like, so not only are they not really trying to look for the guy, even though she can positively identify the guy.
Yeah.
Okay? On camera, they're not willing to help. And the hotel's trying to silence her, and that's where the second part of the story, where netizens are basically coming to her defense to the point that they're protesting outside of the hotel, which this is also rare. You don't see this.
No.
Because in China, there's no, I mean, come on, this happens all the time. People are, in a world where people are afraid to stand up for people up front, you know, luckily there are some people who want to help her in this case. But it is just a crazy, I mean, this scares me. This scares crap out of me because it happens every single day. And women are concerned. Women have expressed like, they're like, I fear for that all the time. And imagine if you caught the guy on camera and they still aren't willing to go after the guy.
Yeah, there's a common problem in China. It's really about, again, like how much attention is being brought to the case. Like, who do you know in the police department? It's like politics over there with crime almost. It's kind of like, oh, we can get some publicity if we solve this crime. All right, let's do it.
But your thing. I mean, they're probably like, you're not important.
Unfortunately, this is the case over there. It's not good. I'm glad this is, you know, out in the open so we can talk about it and we can bring some attention to it.
Yep.
And this is an issue, right? Like,
huge issue.
Sex trade is a huge issue in China where people are just kidnapped. There was an article like a few months ago I read. Literally, this girl who escaped.
Yeah.
She literally was like walking home from school. She was a student in a van.
Crazy.
Is shipped out to like Tibet or something. I don't even know. And then, you know, this is sad, but it does happen. And unfortunately, in China, with all the people over there, it's not being made into an issue.
Correct.
It is an issue.
It is an issue, and also the other issue is this happens in China all the time. Why are people standing by when things happen? You know,
that's unfortunate.
I mean, we have our theories, but guys, you know, let us know your theories. But it is a thing, and that is a really bad thing because this could have been avoided.
It's a big thing.
You know, so
you hear it all the time, like, oh, this elderly fell, laid there for 20 minutes, no one came to help.
No one, this is insane. And
happens all the time.
There's so many pictures where they just stand there and look at like a body in the street. Like usually here, the first instinct is call 911, call 911, ask for help. You know, so it's really bad on all levels.
Guys, let us know your thoughts about this story, about this video in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. See you
later.